This is a place where the land meets the sea. It's where salty winds dance with soft sand and where waves whisper stories of distant lands. And here, nestled between the sun-kissed shore and the deep blue sea, lived a young boy named Kai. Kai was a curious boy with eyes as bright as the midday sun and a smile as warm as the summer breeze. He loved exploring the nooks and crannies of their little village, playing with the seagulls and chasing the waves as they tumbled and crashed on the shore. But Kai harbored a secret, a fear that lurked in the depths of his heart, a fear of the very sea that he loved to play in. You see, the sea held a special place in the life of the villagers. It was their lifeline, providing them with food and sustaining their way of life. But for Kai, it was a source of fear. Years ago, a fierce storm had swept across the coast, taking his father out to sea and leaving an aching void in Kai's life and in the hearts of everyone who knew him. Ever since, Kai's heart would tighten whenever he heard the waves crashing on the shore or saw the wind whipping across the water. The sound of the sea became a constant reminder of his loss, and the vastness of the ocean, a symbol of the unknown and the unpredictable. One day, while Kai was sitting on the shore, watching the waves roll in and out, the villagers began to gather. Their faces were etched with worry as they pointed towards the horizon. And there it was, an enormous wave, towering over the others, rolling steadily towards the shore. It looked like a giant, angry beast, ready to devour everything in its path. Panic surged through the crowd. If a wave of this magnitude were to hit the shore, it would be strong enough to capsize their boats, wash away their homes, and take their lives. Fear hung heavy in the air, as thick as the sea fog. Elder Lee, a weathered man, with eyes that held the wisdom of years spent by the sea, stepped forward. His voice, though raspy with age, carried the weight of authority. "We must act quickly," he said, his gaze fixed on the approaching wave. "Someone must go out and anchor our boats to the seabed. If we don't, the wave could hit and our boats will be swept out to sea." A shiver ran down Kai's spine. The thought of going out to sea, of venturing into the very thing that terrified him, was unbearable. Yet he saw the desperation in the eyes of the villagers, the hope that someone, anyone, would be willing to risk everything to save their way of life. One by one, the villagers shook their heads. The wave was too big, too dangerous. Even the bravest of fishermen, men who had sailed through countless storms, refused to take the risk. The wave grew larger in their nightmares. As the wave drew closer, the villagers' fear grew. They watched helplessly as their lifeline, their boats, teetered on the brink of being lost. Just when all hope seemed to be fading, a small boat appeared on the horizon. It was a tiny speck amidst the vast expanse of the sea, bravely making its way towards the monstrous wave. At the helm of the boat was Kai. His face was grim, his eyes focused, his small hands gripping the oars with surprising strength. He had taken his father's words to heart and decided to face his fear head-on. The villagers watched in suspense as Kai's small boat approached the wave. It was a terrifying sight, a young boy in a tiny boat about to take on a wave that threatened to engulf everything in its path. Kai's boat was tossed around by the wave like a leaf in a storm. Water crashed over him, wind screamed in his ears, and fear threatened to overwhelm him. But he remembered why he had set out to sea. He was doing this for his village, for the people he loved, and for the memory of his father. With a final surge of strength, Kai maneuvered his boat to the crest of the wave, right under its towering face. In that moment, he felt a sense of calm amidst the chaos. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let the wave wash over him. When he opened his eyes, he saw a small opening at the base of the wave, just enough for his boat to slip through. With quick movements, he changed direction and steered his boat swiftly through the opening. Suddenly, the churning waters around him began to recede, revealing a scene of utter devastation. Their docks were destroyed, their boats were scattered, and the sea was filled with debris. But it could have been so much worse. The wave had lost its power. By the time it reached the shore, their homes and lives were spared. As the villagers surveyed the damage, their eyes met Kai's in gratitude. They had watched him face the impossible and emerge victorious. They cheered, their voices echoing with admiration and relief. In that moment, Kai knew he had done something extraordinary, something that would change him forever. The once fearful boy had become a hero, a beacon of courage for the entire village. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Kai returned home, his muscles aching and his clothes tattered, but his spirit soaring. The villagers gathered to welcome him back, their faces aglow with pride and relief. Old Man Joe, whose weathered face had been creased with worry moments before, now broke into a wide grin. He walked up to Kai, his eyes twinkling with admiration, and placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "You have shown us all what courage truly means," he said, his voice hoarse with emotion. "You are a true hero of our village." The other villagers nodded in agreement, their faces etched with admiration for the young boy who had faced his fears and saved their lives. Kai blushed at the praise. He looked at the smiling faces around him, the cheers and applause echoing in his ears, and he felt a warmth spread through his chest. It was a feeling he had never experienced before, a feeling of fulfillment, of knowing that he had done something truly special. From that day forward, Kai was no longer afraid of the sea. He had faced his fear and emerged stronger on the other side, understanding its raw power and the importance of respecting nature's forces. The villagers rallied together to rebuild their docks and their lives. The fear of the wave had brought them together, but it was Kai's courage that had saved them. And as they rebuilt their village, they also rebuilt their spirits, drawing strength from the bravery of their young hero. And so the tale of Kai, the boy who conquered his fear and saved his village, became a legend whispered on the winds, carrying across the waves to remind everyone who listened that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not against external foes, but within the depths of our own hearts. The roaring sea became Kai's constant companion, no longer a source of fear, but a reminder of his strength and the unwavering spirit that resided within him. And the village by the sea continued to thrive, forever grateful to the brave boy who had taught them that even in the face of the most terrifying waves, courage could be the anchor that kept them steady. Thank you for watching. See you next time.